Blessings and welcome. I'm a little bit early, just getting things set up, but I just wanted to say welcome to everyone. Hi, Sheila. Blessings and welcome. If you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you are on Instagram, which I'm actually going to be hooking up with here in a moment, you can DM me if you want to toggle between your YouTube and your Instagram. And I think it's time to go. So, blessings. I'm going to get onto Instagram here. And we will get started. I'll move you in a little bit closer. And I thank you for being here. So blessings and welcome, everyone. It is such a blessing to be here with you. It has been quite an incredible shift of late. If you have been feeling it, I know I have, and it has been this invitation to really relax, be, and embody more of those parts of ourselves that we know are the true parts of ourselves. And it's not always easy. In fact, it has been probably for me one of the most challenging. I'm so grateful. So just blessings and welcome. And I know if you're my regulars, if you're on my monthly love letter, or you would like to be, go to my website. That's my full name, tuesdaymaythomas.com. And it is there that you can subscribe on that first page for my monthly love letter where I send out a blog. And last month had me down so hard that I did not get to send out my monthlies. I was deep. I was deep in a land that was new to myself, but I will be sending our December worksheet and blog and free chapters and all sorts of other juicy bits and bobs out to you. And I'm also an author. If you need some ideas for Christmas presents, check out my books page at my website. And of course, I offer long distance readings, spiritual counseling, and such. So thank you for hopping on. If you are on Instagram, please DM me. DM me your question. If you're on YouTube, you can leave it in the comments. And I'm so grateful. This is my show called 4D Trinity. Every week I go live here on YouTube and on Instagram. And for the most part, I use this as a platform to discuss and to share a lot of the teachings and the topics that are deeply interesting to me and that have a part of the pattern to do with these teachings that I'm so guided to share forth in a movie I'm creating called Grid Mind Science. I thank you everyone for following me at Grid Mind Science on Instagram as I build this vision and build this platform. And once a month here on my show, 4D Trinity, I go live with this Ask Me Anything. And I'm here to be of service, that I might channel information from your higher self, from divine spirit, from source, from love, for your highest good, and maybe bring in some aspects to some equations, some questions you might have about your path now that can help illumine your way. And it's all love. That's where it comes from. I might use some cards to accompany the questions. And it's really just first come, first serve. We're going to hang out for the next hour and do this. What I will invite is that we all imagine this is a rose quartz, right? And to do this work together, we'll just take a moment and we'll take a breath. And we're going to enter that rose quartz crystalline cave together and connect from the heart space and connect with higher self, the higher self that is attuned to the one heart, the one love, and the one mind that is plugged in always to that higher consciousness. And so it is. So it is in this rose quartz. So grateful for all of the new subscribers. So I pray that everything I share here truly serves your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty always. So we're going to get started. I know there was already a question on Instagram that I'm going to start with, and then I'm going to hop back over to YouTube. So let's just have a look here. Take a breath and relax. Okay. Go ahead, unless your tag is on YouTube where people can see you. I'm going to go ahead and just allow these questions to be anonymous unless you tell me otherwise that you don't mind. So I'm going to give you a different name, Anna. Anna asks, I'd like to know what I should do for work now. I've been away from my job for 9 months, have not felt inspired to work on anything except travel. I'm in Puerto Rico. Okay, so except travel and study. But the question is, I would like to know what I should do for work now. So again, if you are on Instagram, go ahead and DM me your question if you have a question. But feel free to just hang out and listen in. Sometimes there's information that's really of service to all of us when we just hang out and join in community. And then I'll be coming back over to YouTube. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comments. So this is for Anna. We'll take a moment. So right away, Anna, I get that the work, okay, I get a whole bunch of things for you. It's all just coming in. So right away, what I get is that the work that you're doing now is really, really important to your spiritual growth and to the quote work that you'll be doing in the future, in future timelines. What you're doing now is a course of self-study that you haven't been able to do in a long, long time. And it feels that you're removing of yourself and placing yourself in Puerto Rico, far, far away, and in a different land with different cultures and, you know, different attitudes of the way to see life and how you live it, that this is your nourishment now. I'm really getting so strong that your higher self wants to say to you, you know, take a moment to acknowledge that you actually did it. You actually brought yourself that far. Maybe at one point, this idea of, you know, travel and study abroad in that sense, study of the self was just a dream, but now you've made it manifest. You're doing the work. His higher self wants you to know you're doing the work. So allow yourself to relax and know that as long as you are fulfilling the prophecy of yourself where you find yourself now in Puerto Rico, being really present with the people, the places, the situations, the activities that you are drawn to and that you are with, that these have medicine for you. These are the connecting points that will offer you a bridge to that, what that work is going to look like. Okay. So it's really important. I'm guided to shuffle the cards. And again, go ahead. And if you have a question on Instagram, please DM it to me. I would really appreciate that rather than writing it in the comments. But I'm so grateful you're here. Hi, Pataluke. Good to see you. All right, Anna. So friendliness. Friendliness is the first card that popped out for you, Anna, in Puerto Rico. And that this just fully resonates with what we were just talking about in terms of friendship, right? Making connections. The people that you're going to meet or that you are meeting in Puerto Rico are people that are going to help you to connect your own dots of spirit, of self, of I'm getting sensuality, which is beautiful, all over the world. Spirit says, your higher self says, you will always have work, meaning creative ways to find a means to financially provide for yourself. Yet the work that you are doing right now, being abroad, submerging yourself in a new country, this is the work that when you fully relax into that, the invitation is to fully relax into that to such a degree that you forget about anticipating what's supposed to be happening after your trip, when your trip is done. But in fact, to forget about the future, forget about the past, to such a hardcore, powerful degree that you collapse all those timelines and you let yourself fully, multidimensionally, through all time, space, and dimensions, boom, like come into your full power in the now, in the moment. And that requires whatever it requires for you to do that as a constant, to create those conditions so you can keep collapsing those timelines. And really, instead of collapsing those timelines that take and dissolve, that take down and dissolve past and future, the invitation is to collapse the timelines you would have that bring you into the now, that are about the now. Like bring your focus to those energies, those people, those frequencies, those teachings. your future is taken care of, is what I get. Your future is taken care of. Let's just ask another little question here, and we'll check in and see if there's some more guidance for you. As I know it's hard when you're abroad and maybe you're there for a certain amount of time, and maybe you have a 2 month or a 3 month something that you're doing there. You're doing work service at a beautiful space. Uh, that kind of thing. Like what I'm getting is I see you, and I think you might have mentioned this to me before. So I am seeing this where you work on the land and you get your stay for free and you become a part of a community, and you get involved. And so I see this as being this nourishment that your soul has wanted for, like, I have to say, probably a decade or over a decade. We're going back to like 2008, 2009. Yet, if I'm correct, this is maybe around the time, or 2010, around that time when you made a shift to the East Coast, to the big city in New York, Anna, which is not Puerto Rico, which is its own kind of a jungle, which offers its own teachings and blessings. But now you're in a phase of decompression, of deep decompression. So keep allowing yourself to relax and relax and relax and get to know who you are in deeper and deeper and deeper relaxed ways. Because higher self is saying you're working on it, but you're basically, you're not there yet fully. And you, whether you're aware of it or not, higher self is saying you have placed yourself where you are now so that you can come back to here fully. And so any anticipation about the future, about your work, about your job, about what you're supposed to do next is I'm just seeing this, like higher self is like, stop being distracted by that, because that information can come to you once you're fully surrendered and you've completely let go. This is how it works, right? We know this. We've maybe had enough experiences where it's that moment that we just like say, fuck it. Like, I don't have to hold on, try to control it or try to figure it out. And it's not a bad thing. It's human nature to try to, like, get some goals lined up and to get a vision lined up. But there's also power in not knowing anything, in not foreseeing any future, but to really, again, come so deep into the now, that this now point of your peace is your power, and that is which creates the correct conditions for your future. Because what I'm feeling for you, what the cards, what everything, what higher self is saying is that you know how to do that version of you, that New York version, that version of you that knows how to do that. You know how to do that so well, you can do it with your eyes closed. And now it's time for you to close your eyes in a different way and to not see with these physical eyes, not see, excuse me, what your physical eyes would make you feel, that you have to see things in a certain way in order to feel safe. Oh, look at what card. Okay, and just behind it. So this is the Master card, Anna, in Puerto Rico. This is juicy, powerful, but look what was right behind it, control. So, and again, this is not, there's higher self is not saying, like, shame on you. This is how we roll. And this is all, like, when I first opened today, just letting you guys know that, like, November kicked my ass. But you know what all it was doing? It was just like wringing and washing me out and wringing and washing me out. Has anyone ever seen that movie Wanted? And where they take the guy, the main character, and they just, I mean, I'm not one for violence, but in a bubble of light in the movie, they just keep bringing him in to the cellar. They beat the shit out of him and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Bob, I'm blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, throw him back out, and then they bring him back in, beat the shit out of him. Who are you? And he's like, I'm the accountant from, like, he has all these ideas of who he is. And then like, he's just wringed out, washed out, beaten. And by the time at the end, they're like, who are you? And he's like, I don't know. And they're like, now we can work with you. Boom. Okay. This is powerful. This is what I get. But this is also so absolutely challenging. It can be, because we're being invited to not know who we are anymore, but only those fundamental root aspects that are your ground for your integrity. for your authenticity. And even if it's one thing, two things, three things, you are being stripped down to the master within. You are being invited to be mindful of where the control is holding on and let it go, because the master within you, that next level of mastery, is right there. Look at this full moon overhead. So I know we have a full moon coming up soon. Use that energy. I'm not sure if you're still going to be in Puerto Rico, but if there's a ceremony, there's something, the guidance is to use that energy. And we're just going to pull we're going to do an angel card for you, just as a mode of guidance. Let's see. Oh, two came out. You got the twosies here. Okay. Celebration, which is phenomenal. And I know sometimes it depends on the screen. And I think on my phone, it's got the flip screen, so it may not come out in the right way. You may be seeing these backwards. But you got celebration and responsibility. So you're in Puerto Rico to learn a new level of responsibility. And that is what I'm getting, is to be really, really honest with yourself. I pray that that really serves you, Anna. And I bless you and I thank you for your question. May the light be with you on your travels, on your exploration, and in your power to let go and to be held by the mystery of the path. And again, sometimes when we let go, that's the instant. That's all it takes for that vision, for that knowing, for that opportunity that is future, that is those people, those settings, for all that, the mechanics of that energetically to happen. So I bless you, and I'm very grateful for your sharing today. So again, thank you everyone for hopping on Instagram, and everyone here at YouTube. If you do have a question on Insta, go ahead and DM me your question. If you want me to keep your name anonymous, let me know. And generally I will do that, but sometimes I slip. But if you remind me specifically, I'm happy to do that. And everyone at YouTube, thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and see what questions we have here on YouTube. Okay. There's a very technical question with Skylark. Okay. You're asking me a technical question, but since it's Ask Me Anything, I shall answer you. You're saying, I'm going to be buying a good camera so I can do my vlog from my PC. When you can, let me know what camera you have. I use a laptop camera. I have a Mac that is 10 years old, a MacBook Pro. And certainly it's time to upgrade, and I look forward to that. And on my phone, I have an old Samsung phone. So no fancy gear here as of yet, but I look forward to embracing and inviting more and more fancy gear in time. And I pray that helps you along your path. Okay, let's go ahead and check in on the DMs over in Instaland. Okay. It's just been such a massive time of growth. Such a massive time of growth. Okay. Dan, I'm having trouble keeping my power, keeping my center. Do you have any advice for this? I'm having trouble keeping my power, keeping my center. Do you have any advice for this? So, what is your center and what is your power, Dan? Center generally refers to that third chakra, to that power center that resides above the navel, front, back, and all around. I really like to think of it. We think of chakras maybe as a vortex of energy or a spinning wheel of energy. And really, I like to think about it as, when it's activated, as a power band that creates an inviolate radius of energy all around your center, which means you become unfuckable with in the third dimension, right? And through all dimensions, time and space. But I understand where, if you feel that you're kind of getting rock and rolled and pushed around by life or by people or by places, or you're having trouble finding that center and being in your center, I fully understand that. And I think this is a part of every human being's experience of when we start to come deeper into our power, when we begin to explore more and more of what that actually means to us, and we just start to heal or just naturally become aligned on a spiritual path and open our hearts, open our eyes, and begin to see in a new way. The third eye begins to become activated. We become sensitive at first because all of a sudden we're beginning to make contact with all sorts of energy around us that has always been present in the invisible realm. Yet now, because we have made contact and we do see it, and we're becoming open to what we do see, that energy and that information is making contact with us. And depending on what the root filters we carry on how we see it, we can become affected by it and a little bit overwhelmed. Because if you're psychic, if you're medium, if you're intuitive, if you just have a sense that there is more to life than just these bodies and these things, right, of the material world. If you've ever seen a ghost, if you've ever felt a spirit, if you've ever heard a voice, this all the time. Like some of us, you begin to get freaked out, right? If you don't have the tools to organize it and to really hold your own space within the space that seems to be opening up and making itself available to your vision, to your senses. All of your senses become activated, right? Your ability to see becomes activated. Thank you for the love on Insta. I'm so grateful. Your ability to hear on a new level becomes activated. Your ability to speak in a higher level becomes activated. To feel, to all of these sensations becomes calibrated and elevated. I remember working with my teacher and doing Reiki in the hospitals. And we would go in and we would work with cancer patients that were deep in their treatments. And there was a certain smell. Yet not everyone could smell it, but because of the energy, the cycles per second, and our ability to voyeur and to tap into those spaces that reside in between bodies, places, and people, we were both able to pick up the smell of cancer, which doesn't really smell very good, but it's not offensive in a way. But there's just this very subtle, when your senses are activated, you can begin to pick it up. And so my teacher at the time would always say Om, what was it? Om Mahashiva, Om Mahashiva, Om Mahashiva, and that would clear it so that at least we could do the work there in that 3D without being distracted by what it is that we are perceiving, because we understand that we're a part of that. Long story short, this is about you being in your power. This is about you maintaining your power no matter what comes at you, whether it's on social media, whether it's through family, whether it's your own mind, right? And so often our own mind is the biggest bully. When we power up the third chakra, we are moving out. We are moving away from victim mentality. And this can be a big one. So what I'm getting for you, Dan, is that there is a past, there is something that happened for you in the past that was pretty traumatic, and that, you know what I'm getting is that it still hasn't been completely healed. And this for you is creating the illusion of a wound that is penetrable by those similar forces or energies under which you had created that wound for yourself by. And I pray that makes sense to you. I've pulled a card, obedience. That's a very interesting one, obedience. So obedience, God, what does that even mean? It's like I get this vision, this sense of like to be obedient, to play by the rules in a way. Yet, okay, so how this translates for you is that you have always played by the rules, Dan. Oh my God. Okay. You know what I'm getting for you? And I feel that this is for many of us, but it's that root aspect where we want to be liked by everyone. We don't want to, as much as you're with integrity and you know how to hold your own. I don't get that you're a wallflower. I get that you've been through this. You've been through stages of this, of building, of tapping that third chakra, of owning your power, being it in the world. Yet you're at this next level now where you're getting to build even greater energy, really, so that, and clear greater energy, really, so that you can contain and hold and be held by more of your true self rather than those stories. So what I'm getting is that there's a story in that third chakra, and that's what is calling for the healing for you, Dan, because as long as that healing, as long as there is not a forgiveness there, as long as you still feel that you can be violated by others, what I'm getting, and I pray this serves you, Dan, but I'm getting that at the most sensitive of times, and also I feel in resonance with this, when I'm out of whack at your most sensitive times, even just something that someone says, a comment, because we're so all over social media now, that you have good connection with, but they could even say something in the way that you perceive it and take it, you digest it, or the digestion stops here, actually, is what I'm getting. So for you, it's about learning to digest your emotions, learning to feel what it is that you feel at any given time and place, but then also to let that energy keep moving and let it out. I feel like it gets stuck here. And then this creates, I'm seeing Swiss cheese, like a Swiss cheese holy kind of art, if you will, at the third chakra, where it's not necessary for that energy to be there. And so I want to offer you a meditation, and we're going to do it all for all of us if you'd like. And it's just a very short meditation, 3 to 6 breaths, that just helps to rebuild that center and that power band, to place you in that center of your truth. Because really, what is the center? That is your crystalline tube. This is the divine energy lung that connects you to source, to all love and light in the universe. And when this tube that is a part of your energy body gets clogged up, and when there's unresolved information and issues and toxic feelings and blame and fear and shame and all that stuff in there, then it's very difficult. Even if we meditate every day and we do our prayers, like, that helps, right? Absolutely. That helps to strengthen. Yet there comes a time, and it feels like you're near this time, where it's time to go in even deeper and to really make a conscious effort to heal. Whose name is there in your tummy? And this goes for all of us listening. If you have a resonance with this message about the third chakra, and you feel bullied, or you feel like a victim, and you feel like you can't find your center, and it's easy for you to go off your center around environments and people and places. Well, number one, we always say, pay attention to what your higher self says. Pay attention to what your guidance is. Are you saying yes when your higher self or your gut is saying, don't go, and then you go, and then you're there, and then you feel violated, and then you have all the reasons why you shouldn't be there. Yet at the same time, when we listen to that guidance and we honor it, and we don't go where our gut or our heart says, yeah, you don't need to be in those environments, then we have our peace, then we keep our center. And that's a big part of it. That's a big part of the daily practice with the little things, because remember, it's the little cogs that spin, that when we honor the spin of those little cogs, by saying yes when we mean yes, and saying no thank you when we mean no thank you, that allows the bigger cogs of ourselves energetically to spin, to turn, to activate. And then the whole wheel, all the wheels of our life, then just flow with ease and with grace, and that power center becomes activated. So Dan, we're okay for cards here, but this was interesting. Obedience. So just before we go through this little meditation, which I'm going to invite us all to do, it's just a little breath meditation to just power up that third chakra, because your third chakra is where you come into the world and you say, I am here, bitches. Just kidding. I never say that, only to the BFF. But it's one of those where it's like, you get your attitude a little bit, like you have to. And it's not fake, and it's not ego, and it's not the fake it till you make it, because you're already, just like how Ana in Puerto Rico, she's already the master. You're already the master. You're already that powerful center that you're seeking, that you don't feel in alignment with, and you're just remembering how to come back to it. And so you're remembering to come back to your center, to your here I am, is you not giving two fucks about what other people think. Okay, whew. That goes for all of us if it resonates. So let's drop in for a moment. We're going to bring awareness to the third chakra right above the navel. Now, the idea with this meditation is we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe. We're going to imagine breathing in yellow and golden light right into the center of the body. And as we exhale, we're going to create an orb with that light. And we're going to do a series of 3 breaths. And by that third breath, that orb of light is going to have expanded so large as to become a power, a band, all the way that expands and extends all the way through all directions, all around you in a radius, through that whole center of your third chakra, and expands out as a layer, as like a ring of Jupiter, if you will, around you in the space of your aura. And from that grounding in your center, just from breathing and placing that there, you will have a sense of your energy versus other people's energy. You will have a sense of being able to maintain your center by coming back to that, by practicing clearing it and charging it. So we're going to do 3 breaths to fill it up, to expand it. And then we're going to finish with 3 breaths to fill the entire aura with white light. So here we go. Breathing golden yellow into the third chakra above the belly button. Through the mouth, exhale and create that color into an orb. So expand it into a shiny round orb in your tummy. And inhale again. Now breathe more color. Nose or mouth, it's fine. As that inhale comes in, see that color adding to that third chakra, expanding it, expanding it, expanding it. And as you exhale through the mouth, if you will, expand it even further. See that color, that orb just expand and start to move out beyond the confines of your physical body. And then one more inhale, breathing that golden yellow, that bright, bright golden light into your third chakra, and exhale, expand it out as far as it will go to that radius around you, that power band, maybe even up to 3 feet all around you, all around your center. And now just take a breath here and feel and see and sense, however it is for you to experience the reality of this as a true part of your multidimensional nature. Allow your power. Step into your power. Be held by your power. And at the same time, let go of it. 3 breaths to stabilize the energy body, the aura, white light, breathing into the body, into all the cells that make up the biology of this body, and exhale through the mouth into the aura, white light into every atom and all the spaces between. 2 more, inhale, white light into the body, the trillions and trillions and trillions of cells that make you up. Exhale into the aura, into the atoms, into the space between, the sacred space between them. And 1 more, inhale and exhale, stabilizing, grounding, and being your true center. Blessings. Thank you so much, Dan. I pray that this serves you. It's a big one, you know, and maybe we can go over a lot of different aspects of that, really calibrating the third chakra. But this is this practice is very simple. There's a link at my YouTube in the meditations playlist to the third chakra, to that little meditation. If you'd like, you can search for it. And may you be well, Dan, and walk and be and just relax into your power. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on Instagram. If you have a question, DM me at Insta, and I'm going to just check in here on YouTube. Hey, Tammy, blessings. Champagne. Okay, can I just say champagne? The last month when you wrote in for or asked me anything, I did think it was really interesting the way, like, the answer to your question, which I haven't even read this one for this month yet, but like the answer to your question was so like quick and done. And I thought, Oh, I really like champagne. Like, I wanted to give her a longer answer, but higher self was like, we're cutting it off there. And so anyway, I just thought that was interesting because I was thinking about you today. And I was like, I wonder if she's gonna hop on. And then I was thinking about your question last month and how higher self was just like, we're not gonna even go like too deep in here. We're just gonna, and just sometimes that's how it is with guidance too. Sometimes we really want like answers to questions because we want to know, yet higher self always has our back. And sometimes won't give us too much information, will just give us what will help us navigate and direct our energy from that time and space. But then after, often we might realize like, oh, that's why higher self didn't indulge me completely in that domain, because there were other things for my attention to be established on. So, and now after saying this, I have no idea what your question is. Watch, it's an extension from last month. We'll see. Anyway, blessings and welcome, champagne. All right, I have a question. Can you tell me? I'm curious about something. I don't really like the term twin flame, but do you see that I've met mine? Champagne, that is so amazing. You know what? I totally had not a knee-jerk reaction, but that whole twin flame, soulmate, all those like those terms, I'd just be like, it's not me. I don't get it. Not that I don't get it, because if I sit long enough, I'm like, of course I understand it. And if you have had relationships, any of us, that are really enter that domain of the heart and where you feel like some powerful acknowledgement or past life connection and all that juicy stuff, there's this sense of like, oh, soul contract or soul mate or twin flame. But what I'm going to tell you is that I have experienced, which, and it almost got to the point too where you're on social media and you're like, oh, twin flame, twin flame, twin. And I'm like almost rolling my eyes, but not in a judge hardcore way, right? Where it's not going to be like something I'm looping in my mind and rolling my eyes with at a constant, but just in that way, champagne, where I just didn't get it. I'm like, what's all this twin flame stuff? And then I think I fucking got it. Like, I get it. And the thing about it, what I'm going to share with you and with anyone who resonates, because, we're all making this stuff up. And I know on this show, this is the intention where I channel higher self, your higher self, the fractal of your higher self, but also the higher self that is all of our higher selves contained as the one heart, the one mind that is rooted in one love. And there's this aspect with this twin flame, is that the part of the puzzle that I get to bring to it is that it's not glamorous. It's not, okay, what I will say, no, I don't intend to create any polarity around it. With my eye rolling. No. But truly, and from what is really coming through now, and I just from my own personal experience, is that what I realized is that there can be a very dreamy, romantic idealization of these notions of like, oh, I met my twin flame, or oh, my soulmate, and all this stuff. Yet what I've realized for me, and much later I'll probably talk about it, but it's still very close to home, and it's personal as these things are. So I'm not ready to completely give all the story away just yet. But what I've realized is that someone who I then thought, after all my like, I don't get twin flame. And then I was like, oh my God, this person is my fucking twin flame. And then like I freaked out and I was like, this is it. This is that thing that all those posts and all these people and all these things are talking. And it just blew my mind. And then I realized, though, the deeper I got in it, I was like, oh, this is absolutely about love, but it's not that romantic love. So I'll just offer this notion that twin flame is the bringing together, the coming together of souls by their higher selves to learn about love, though it may be in the guise, what might bring you is the feeling of this romantic love, the feeling of this notion of like, they're like my twin. Like if I was a boy, they'd be me and I'm the girl of them, or vice versa, however it works for you. Yet the nature of the lessons of the twin flame are, in my experience, to bring you closer to the truth about love and your root identity and definitions about it that had become fantasized and now are seeking a root of truth in you. I pray that makes sense. We're going to get the cards too. So there's this, so and the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel that I want to transmit that to you and to anyone else this resonates with, is that there's this highly romantic notion, yet the twin flame relationship is one that goes on and on and on and on, if you believe in past lives, right? And some people don't believe in past lives, just the continuation of life, and that's fine too. Yet there's different lessons and there's different bodies that we can inhabit with that same other flame of ours, and as divine masculine, as divine feminine, but not always. It might seem like there's a romantic intersection that would make you like curious and like want to get closer, want to explore it and even feel that it's romantically aligned. Yet it's not always romantically. You may not have sex with them, you may not ever kiss them, you may not, all these interesting complex layers is what I found out. Yet, if you can be cool with that, and if that stuff's going to happen, right? Because here we don't do magic. We're not lighting candles and forcing people's wills and trying to make shit happen. No, we let go. We learn to allow the highest good to be in the highest order under grace without pushing. We get clear on what it is we intend and who we are. And then the divine comes to us under grace without force. So that's just some serious downloads there. And of my own experience is that it doesn't always mean what the fluffy stories would have us think it means. Not to say that it can't. Yet what I realize that it's a story, right? The twin flame thing is a story that we can. Ooh, okay, you know what I just got? Oh my gosh. So even though it is said that we all have one, right? Like if you're a woman in this life, there's a male companion that is that for you, or vice versa. Yet what I just got from Higher Self Champagne is be your own twin flame. What? to ingrain and to adapt and to align with that idea, first and foremost. Number one, to activate, cultivate, and develop that divine masculine, that divine feminine within the self, so that that balance is already there within you. And then moving forward into whatever people that might be guided to come to you, to reveal, to show you that they might be of that frequency, to share that path with you. Then you are not seeking outside of yourself for that energy. But that's easier said than done. And there's so many cycles that we go through of growth. And just sometimes when you think you've got it, life throws you a curveball and you're like, nope, I don't know anything. Start from scratch again. This is it though, is that we feed the light body, we starve the tar body, and we do our best to get into filling the light body to such the degree that is that which navigates. Okay, so now I'm going off. But what I did get is that you get to be that for yourself. Harmony, going within, heart center and third eye. And I know there's more to your question, but these cards just came out. Receptivity. These are totally feminine. And then celebration, barefoot, dancing in the rain, emotional card, females, dancing, celebration. So this is interesting. I want to just reread your question again, because I know you're asking if you actually have one now. Okay. Do you see that I've met mine? Thank you so much. So what I'm getting is that you already know them. And see, here's the thing with the twin flames too that I've recognized, is that you could live your whole life really near and crisscrossing paths with that person. Yet if the twin flamery, if you will, is not ready to be activated, to be awakened for both of you for the highest good, then it's like a seed, it's going to be asleep. And you'll keep living in each other's lives and crossing each other's paths until there comes a time when, and it's this thing that you can't control, right? You can't try to decide, I'm going to meet my twin flame in 2020. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Yet when given its rite of passage and its divine timing, there again is the grace by which it comes. So yeah, I feel like you already know yours. Um, and I don't want to paint my story on yours, but I'm just offering you what my revelations have been in this last year, which really woke me up, is that it is romantic, it is beautiful, it is some of the most powerful fucking love you will ever experience. Yet, in my experience, it is rooted in that power of unconditional love more than anything. Right? Because we know as spiritual students and spiritual apprentices and walking this path, that our happiness cannot be given us from the outside. We know that we create the conditions within ourselves to stabilize, to ground, to connect our own divine masculine, our own divine feminine. And absolutely, there's parts of us that can be healed by that conscious union, masculine and feminine, and that awakening of those energies and being held and being seen. And absolutely, absolutely. Yet the offering is to not be distracted by thinking it needs to be a certain way, by thinking that a twin flame relationship, even if you have a sense of who that might be, Champagne, that then you don't sort of confine it and put it into the bubble of all the definitions that you've been given online or through videos that you've seen, even my stuff. Even my stuff, you know me, I'm just here to share and to offer. Please take what serves you. That goes for everyone. But to give it room, right? When you meet that twin flame or when you have an aha about who that might be, but to give it room, because the twin flame relationship is, in my experience, it is not what you think it is. This is it. And you can go for years thinking that it's something that it's actually not. And it is, though, at the same time. This is the funny thing. And this is like a riddle. It's like a code that you and your path and your higher self will crack. But it's like this sense of it is all of that, but it is none of that, because it is more than that, if that makes sense. It's not. So the thing is that sometimes we think that a twin flame needs to be a relationship. It needs to look a certain way. And what I'm offering, what I've learned, is like that gets blown out of the water. It can do that. And to really, the greatest grace is to allow it to be whatever it is. And that is often, for me anyway, the initiation of just even understanding that twin flame thing, of thinking that it was romantic. And it was. That's what I saw for a long, 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 long time. The closeness, the romance, all the stuff that was like, oh my God, this is totally the spiritual stuff, all that stuff. And then boom, the realization of like, oh, all that stuff is real, yet it's not real. What's really real is the love that is true. That myself and this other person are so present in our availability to be receptive to the frequency of love, that we can be in that space together and be turned on by it. Yet it doesn't mean that there's sex involved. Yet it doesn't mean that there's any kissing or like romantic, is he going to text me or bring me flowers? Like, I'm just saying that this whole twin flame thing, that there's a different dimension to it. So okay, depth for you, Champagne. Depth. How deep down the rabbit hole do you want to go? And really, again, no matter what I say or what anybody else says, your experience is going to be your experience. What you choose is going to be what you choose. And how you move with it, right, is going to be up to you. There's no right or wrong. Yet I just will say that, and for all of us, that you have permission to keep dating. Even if you feel like you've already met your twin flame, you have permission. But it hasn't calibrated and you're not like an item or something. Like, you have permission to keep exploring, if that is your domain. If you're a person that's open to romance, or dating or whatever, there's an expression: don't put all your eggs in one basket, but keep allowing yourself to be open to what the twin flame journey means to you. I pray that that serves you, Champagne. I really do. It's a very, very interesting path, though, that whole twin flame, once you really start to awaken to it and get into it. Hey, Anna in Puerto Rico, at the very beginning, I did your question. So if you're just hopping on here on Instagram, at the end, you can go back and watch the beginning, because we got juicy into your question. And in fact, let's go ahead. And we're going to be wrapping up here in about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to check if there's any other questions at Instagram. Again, we just have a few, like 10 minutes left. So if you do have a question, go ahead and DM me at Instagram, or leave it here at the comments on YouTube. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So Tammy, I'm working on healing and clearing out. Can you tell me areas I should work on and how? Okay. Blessings. Okay, Tammy, you're working on healing. Let me just read it again. So I have it clear in my head. Can you tell me areas I should work on and how? Okay. Let's see. So, receiving, being open to receive. Interesting, the divine feminine, your feminine nature, which is all about receptivity. I see the left side body waiting to be lit up, waiting to be activated. And I see your higher self is like facing me, and their left hand is out like this, open, palm up, like they're like, your higher self is saying, I'm open and ready to receive. And what I'm getting from your higher self is that there's a part of you in the physical domain, in your body, the personality, the name, the person that you are, that is that this healing that you're going through right now is creating an opportunity for the physical to match that, to raise the vibration, to raise that frequency up to that, to match your higher self. That the higher self is already, it's just like, I'm very cool with receiving. Higher self has that divine, is already in that divine balance. Its ability to give to itself, to give to others, but equally and equanimously, is that a word? To equally receive and to give to the self, right? To create that circuitry. I often think of you, Tammy, learning Reiki, and as a means, and this could even be a really good time. I know we have family, Reiki family in community. It might be a time for you to consider that. I see you laying hands on yourself to heal, and it's a really powerful modality to just begin to activate that. So where there is there's a resistance, there's fear, there's control, but there's fear of not keeping it together. Yet at the same time, this This is one of the first cards that came out, exhaustion. The, sometimes when we try to keep it together, it takes so much energy, and it's exhausting just to keep the wheels turning, to keep things spinning in a certain way. And I'm aware that you have a family with beautiful children. Um, Yet what I am getting is that this is an initiation to loosening and redefining mother, redefining your relationship, whoa, with your mother. I don't know what that means to you, but okay, well, this is interesting. So you get aloneness. So this time is offering you, your healing at this time is offering you periods of solitude that maybe you didn't have before. And higher self is saying to use them to journal, to explore, to meditate on how it is you can open yourself to receive more from your family, from your loved ones, those that surround you, but also in terms of just that divine harmonic of the way that the world flows for you. It is a time definitely to go deeper into those meditations, to explore deeper realms of consciousness. Now, this is interesting. You have past lives. So what I'm getting is that there's okay, this is what I'm getting is that you have so much support. Oh my gosh, you're so loved. I was just getting that. Wow. You know what? You're so loved. My love, higher self is saying, but you're not. Okay, so I pray that I'm just, please, this comes with love, but the message is just really kind of strong. It's okay. The idea is like, when you're like working on your diet, or you're eating a lot of protein, or you're taking a lot of vitamins and stuff, and then you go and do a blood test, and then the results come back and they're like, oh, your protein is low, or you're vitamin B deficient, or whatever, and you're like, what? I take all the vitamins, I do all the work, I do blah, blah, blah. Yet there's something that's missing. There's a component, or maybe a different mineral, or the time of the day that you take it, or you're not supposed to take this with that, or there's something that's missing, that's not allowing that synergy to fully be absorbed by your body. And so the readings in the 3D are saying, oh, well, actually, you think you're doing pretty good, you're eating good, but your body's not receiving the nutrition. This is the point. So you are so loved. I'm getting there's like just ridiculous amounts of love around you. Yet your ability to receive it is what this healing is inviting you into resting with, into being open to receiving more of that love, because it feels that there's so much around you, yet it's just it's this is just the next layer of you loving you, of you accepting and bringing and allowing yourself to be loved and to be seen and to be supported, and by the initiates that are closest to you, your tribe, your family, your friends, your people that are right there with you every day, every week. And it's just surrendering that grace, that gentleness, that knows, like, you know what, I need help now. I need to be held now. That has a voice. Okay, so this is it. The practice I'm getting now is for you to give a voice to those parts of you that are seeking to learn how to receive more in the world, because that's how you're going to activate it, by you learning how to speak what you would receive, to allow it to channel more, to give it the alchemating power to create the healing in you, to shift the consciousness, to shift where there's been blocks about grandma's beliefs, mom's beliefs, whose beliefs are in there. So this is the time to unravel those grids, unravel that stuff, those subconscious things that have been driving, where it's like, it's better to give than to receive. I mean, it's such an old fashioned thought, yet it feels that there's something like that in there, or there's like you pull out that one thought, and then like the hair in the shower, and then you pull it up and there's just all this tangled gunk. And I don't mean to say that it's tangled gunk, but it's just that idea where you identify like one stray thought that you realize isn't yours, it belongs to someone else or the ancestors, and you're like ready to cut that thought out, but then you keep pulling, and there's like, it's connected to like billions of other you know um probably thoughts or beliefs or modes of being that have really served you up into this point in your life. But now this healing is saying, like, you know how to give, you're an expert at giving, yet to truly create that balance and that healing for you that you seek, is to learn how to open that left side body, the channels of your left side. The Ida, to do pranayama, to do breathing practices that are going to balance the hemispheres of the brain, balance the flow of chi, of prana, to learn Reiki or to receive Reiki, to receive love. Because again, there's a whole lot of love around you, but your ability to be nourished by it is limited, because it's almost like there's filters. You've got filters. You've been hurt. It's the past. The past gets to be redefined, my friend, for you now, at this time of your healing. So it is a deep time of reflection, of slowing down, as you know, and of seeing where, and don't be hard on yourself, but this is the work, right? This is the conscious exercise of like, where is it in the world, in your life, that you block love on a day-to-day basis? And to change that, consciously change that. Everyone on Instagram, we're wrapping up. It's giving me the countdown. Please go to my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, and sign up for my monthly love letter. I'm going to be sending one out, December's one, in this next week. It's got my blog and info about my books and all sorts of worksheets and free little goodies for you. So thank you for being here. I'll be back next week at 11 a.m. with 4D Trinity. We're going to be talking about forgiving the past of others. It should be really juicy. Thank you so much, and blessings everyone on Instagram and everyone here at YouTube. Thank you again. And Tammy, I pray that that information really serves you, really blesses your path. It's a time to be loved and to let that nourishment really come in, to really take it in, to really savor it. And to really, I know you know how precious it is and how precious your family is. And there's more, right? That love, those petals keep opening. And this is a time for you to feel love as you've never felt it before. So you can even ask your own higher self in your prayers, your meditation, or maybe make up your own sort of concept of how this would resonate with you, of, you know, how can I experience greater love in my life? How can I open myself to receive and be nourished by greater love in my life? How can I create sacred space for the divine feminine to guide my path in my life now? How can I create balance between my divine feminine, my divine masculine? You might want to rewind this once we're done and just take notes of that, unless you're writing them down now. But if they resonate, right? But even if they just sort of stimulate and activate an idea for you, you know, some inspiration of how you would put those into your own words, how you might consider that in your own way. But this is a time so that when you come out of this and your butterfly wings now then are renewed with their new colors and their new designs, that your ability to fly, to gain levity in this world and in your spheres is given light, is given that ability to be held, to be lifted. You don't have to do everything yourself. You have so much support around you. And this is now, it's a time to break the ego down, you know, to just like be like, so that when you come out, okay, so the idea is that when you come out of this, you're not the same version of you as before. You let more people help you in more ways. You really consciously receive the nourishment. And I know with our children, I don't have kids, but I know you do, you know, of course you do. And it's easy, yet those are the easy parts. Where is it the challenge for you? You know, to be open to love. Is it mom? Is it dad? Is it brothers, sisters, uncles, uh, the bank accountant? I don't know, but whoever it is for you, uh, past versions of yourself, all of that, to open yourself to receive love. Open up the channels on the left side to balance with that divine masculine on the right side. I pray that really serves you, Tammy. I feel you. It has been a lot in this last while. Okay, blessings. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm so grateful. And again, next week's 4D Trinity. Oh, and please, and I forgive me, I had mentioned a couple of shows ago that I was going to do this show last week. But then I realized it was a holiday. So of course we moved it to today. So thank you for being here. And we are wrapping up. If you're just hopping on, I do this show once a month. Hey, the Perkins Jam. Good to see you, hon. But we are actually wrapping up. So this show will be back in another 4 weeks. In the meantime, next week's 4D Trinity, we'll be talking about, and maybe this is one that's going to resonate with you a lot, is forgiving the past of others, people that have hurt us. And when they show up in our lives and they've kind of gotten over it, but you're still holding on to it, whatever it is, and there's that funky space in between, or that misalignment that is just seeking that balance. And how do we work with that energetically, spiritually, metaphysically? What does it mean in the energy, the ways that we're connecting with others? And really going into forgiving the past of others so that we can allow ourselves to be sovereign and to not be like Pinocchio on the strings, really connected to those grids and bound by the gravity of them in the world, but to be in the world and not of it, which is everything that I share here at 4D Trinity. So thank you again, all of the new subscribers. I pray that all of this serves your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty. Thank you for sharing, for liking, and following on Instagram, and for following my Grid Mind Science project on Instagram, also the movie that I'm making about all of the teachings that I share. So blessings, and have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week. Namaste with so much love. Blessings.